This weekend I had a lot of fun fishing. I practiced fly casting dough balls, tested a new YOLO bite alarm, fished with friends, and the best part of the weekend was helping a young boy named Skylar catch his first carp and his biggest fish ever, a 12-pound beast, on a crappie rod with 6-pound test. Although I often fly cast dough balls, I don't talk about it much because most real fly fishermen would cringe at the thought of throwing any kind of bait. But I started thinking, a beginning fly fisherman could learn a lot from fly casting dough balls. Firstly, you have to be very careful to let your line straighten out in front and behind you, or you'll lose your bait. You have to cast gently, and you have to use a strip strike to pull the hook through the dough. And also, a new fly fisherman can learn a lot just by catching a bunch of fish, especially carp in the 2 to 3 pound range on a fly rod. Like how to play the fish, how tight to set the drag, and how to get the line back on the reel to fight the fish. When casting, you'll have to cast a little bit sidearm because a dough ball is going to be heavier than most flies you'll cast. And so on your back cast, it will swing back kind of low. You don't want to get smacked in the face with a wet dough ball that has a sharp mosquito hook inside it. If you're fishing at Prospect Lake, you won't have to cast more than 15 to 20 feet. So pull out about that much line before you cast, and usually 1 or 2 back casts will be enough. In the mornings, I look for traveling bubbles, not the ones that are just coming up in one place. As the carp are feeding in the silt, they free up bubbles of gas trapped in the silt. This rooting also creates the mud clouds I've often mentioned before, but these days the water's a little murky, so mud clouds can be hard to see, especially in the early mornings. In the afternoon, I look for tails poking out of the murk. If you see a tail waving, the mouth is on the other side. Cast a couple of feet in front and pray the fish keeps feeding in a straight line. There are carp in that lake over 20 pounds, so you may see some very large tails. Your fly line is your strike indicator. Watch the tip of your line and the curve of your line just below the rod tip. The take can be subtle, especially with the bigger fish. Use a strip strike by pulling the line back quickly with your non-rod hand as you set the hook with your rod hand. I found that just setting the hook with your rod doesn't always pull the hook through the dough. Now, once you've hooked a carp, the initial run is usually pretty strong, so this is the time to get your line back on the reel. Keeping a little tension on the line between your thumb and fingers, let the fish take line until you can fight the fish on the reel. I like to keep my drags set pretty loose. You can always palm the spool to add more tension. Lastly, play the fish carefully, even a small one. A mosquito hook is thin and sharp and can pull through the fish's lip if you pull too hard. Then that hook is going to come flying back at your face. On Sunday, I caught over 30 fish fly casting dough balls. I know some people will say this is cheating or even sacrilege, but as I said, a new fly fisherman can learn a lot by fly casting dough balls. And it's fun. Good luck out there.
see him?